Let's make a bouncing ball animation using friction. The classical bouncing ball exercise, a great place to start for your animations and a neat way to get familiar with friction. Let's get started. I'll start by creating a new project. For the dimensions, I'll do 1600 by 1400 and I'll drop the duration to 90 frames. I'll change the background to white and press OK. So the first thing to do is to create our ball. So I'll grab the path tool, I'll left click once, then I'll make a second dot. I'll grab the point editor and I'll try to align these two dots so that they overlap. Then I'll go to stroke and I'll increase the size of the stroke significantly. So we get a nice ball. Let's do 255. I'll give it a sort of basketball color. So more on the orangey side of things. Okay, this should do. I'll grab the selection tool and finally I'll go to the alignment. I'll switch to pivot and I'll align the pivot at the bottom here. Lastly, I'll rename the object. So I'll call this ball. All right, let's start animating it. I'll expand it in the timeline. So let's grow the timeline a bit. And I'll go to translation. On frame 0, I'm going to add a Y keyframe. Let me zoom out here. And now on the first keyframe, I'll grab the ball, I'll press G, Y, and I'll move it down. So all the way here. Then I'll move forward, let's say to frame 14, I'll press G, Y, and then escape to add a keyframe. You can use the insert key on your keyboard. I don't have it on this keyboard, so this is the method I'll be using to add keyframes. All right. So I'll move to the middle point between those two keyframes. I'll press G, Y, and I'll move the ball all the way up here. Now, I'll place the playhead on the frame 0, press I on the keyboard, and then I'll place it one frame before the very last frame, and I'll press O. Now, if I press Shift Spacebar, it's going to play back. I'll turn on the loop, Shift Spacebar again, and we have a ball bounce. But of course, it doesn't look natural at all. I'll press Escape to break out of the preview playback. Let's add a bit of easing to our ball bounce. So I'll grab the Y, I'll activate the graph editor. And on this middle keyframe here, so when the ball is in the air, I'm going to change it to symmetric node. I'll left click, hold the handle, then I'll press X and I'll drag it out. Not all the way, but close to it. Now, if I press Shift Spacebar, we're getting a somewhat more natural bounce. All right, I'll press Escape, exit the graph editor. I'll zoom out on the entire timeline. If you're not using the RC versions, you will not have the fit horizontal, but you can use Control in the middle mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Then I'll position the playhead on the very last keyframe. I'll left click, hold, drag, and select all these keyframes. Then I'll press Ctrl C to copy, and with the playhead over the last keyframe, I'll press Ctrl V. I'll go to the last keyframe, Ctrl V, last keyframe again, Ctrl V, last keyframe, Ctrl V, and one last time, Ctrl V. Now we have a series of bounces. I'll adjust the in out, I'll drag it out. Here is our animation, I'll press Escape. Now on the X property, on frame 0, I'm going to add a keyframe, and then I'll move to the last keyframe here. I'll grab the ball on the canvas, press GX, and I'll move it to the right. I think on the first keyframe, I'm going to move it to the left over here, so GX and move it to the left. If we play back, the ball comes into frame and moves gradually. Now we're going to decrease the energy of the ball. So the bounces are going to decrease in height progressively as the ball moves from left to right. To do so, I'm going to grab the Y property here and I'll go inside of the graph editor. You can hold down Shift and use the middle mouse wheel to zoom vertically, and you can use the middle click to pan around. If you're using the RC versions or later, you should have fit vertical and fit horizontal. All right, Now to decrease the bounces as it progresses, I'm going to left click hold and drag over all these bottom keyframes except for the first one. And now if I press G and Y and move them up, it's going to decrease the height of the ball. So I'm simply going to hold down Shift, deselect this second one here, G, Y, move them up again, hold Shift, click, then G, Y, and I'll simply repeat that for each one. Alright, so let's play back again. Now the ball is losing energy in terms of the bounces, but the bounces should be getting faster as it progresses. So I'll press escape. So all we have to do is bring these keyframes closer to each other. You can do so either in the nodes or inside of the graph editor. I'll do it inside of the graph editor. I'll left click all the way to the right, left click hold, and I'll drag and grab all the keyframes except for these three first keyframes. Now I'll press G and X and I'll move forward, or I'll move to the left one frame. I'll deselect this middle frame here, G, X, and move to the left one frame. You want to have the same distance to the left and the right of this bottom keyframe here. So all I have to do is deselect over here, press G, X, I'll move 2 frames this time. So 1, 2. Then I'll hold down Shift, deselect this one, G, X, 1, 2. And simply repeat this for the rest. And I'll gradually increase the amount of frames that I move. So for this one, I'm going to move 3 frames. So 1, 2, 3, deselect, 1, 2, 3, deselect, 1, 2, 3, 4, deselect, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll deselect this, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do 5 for this last one, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. If I play back, and now it's looking a lot more natural. All right. So looking back, I think this works. I'll click on the second keyframe when the ball is in the air. I'll grab the handle, press X, and I'll expand it to its limit. I'll exit the graph editor. I'll collapse the translation. And now let's add a bit of squash and stretch to our animation. First, I think I'm going to move the X keyframe over here closer to the rest of our animation. And I'll go back to the graph editor with the X selected. On the last keyframe, I'll make sure to select it. And I'll make this a smooth node. I'll left click hold, press X, and I'll drag it out. Exit the graph editor, space, shift spacebar, and it's looking much better. I'm also going to bring in the out point over here. Okay, so now let's add some squash and stretch, and I'll start with the scale. So on this frame here where it hits the ground, I'm going to add a keyframe for the scale. I'll move back 1 frame. I'll press S. Wait, let me make sure to click on the ball. I'll press S and then escape. Because again, I don't have the insert key, so I can't add the keyframes with insert. So now I'll move back 3 frames, 1, 2, 3. I'll press S, escape. I'll go back to the frame where it hits the ground. I'm going to scale it on the Y-axis, squash it, and then scale it on the X-axis and stretch it. I'll go back 1 frame. I'll do the opposite, so I'm going to expand it on the Y-axis and squash it on the X-axis. So now it does this. So 1 frame after, I'm going to copy the stretch frame, Control C, and with the playhead 1 frame after the squash, I'm going to press Control V. And now we have this little squash here. I'll go 1, 2, 3, and I'll copy this one, copy V, Control C, Control V. Now I'll just repeat this for the following frames. So what I can do is left click, hold, drag over all of these, Control C. I'll go back 1, 1, 2, 3, Control V. So they should all be in position. Okay, I'll add 1 more over here. So 1, 1, 2, 3, Control V. Make sure everything aligns. I'm going to move this one though, 1 frame, and same thing here, 1 frame. All right. Playback, we have our squash and stretch, but it doesn't align with the arc of the motion. So now let's add rotation keyframes. So when it hits the ground, I'm going to add a rotation keyframe. And then 1 frame before that, I'm going to click on the ball, rotate, and I'll rotate it towards the left so that it matches the arc motion. And on the frame where it's all the way at the top, I'll press Alt R, and this is going to reset the rotation. So now it rotates, hits the ground, and then on this frame over here, I'm going to rotate the opposite direction. So now it should go up. When it's all the way at the top, I'll press Alt R, and I'll simply repeat this process on the other side, rotate here, reset when it hits the ground, and then rotate in the opposite direction over here. So it does this. All the way at the top, I'll rotate. And when it stretches again, which I think is here, I'm going to rotate, hits the ground, reset rotation, next frame, rotate in the opposite direction. When it's all the way at the top, I'll reset the rotation. And there we have it. It follows the arc. Now over here, I'm going to reduce the squash and stretch. So I'm going to reduce it like this because it's supposed to be losing the momentum. I'll do the same thing here a little bit and same thing here because it's not bouncing as high, so it shouldn't be squashing and stretching as much as in the beginning. Let's play back. Escape. Let's see. Over here, I'll do the same, reduce a little bit. Okay. Now let's add a pattern to the ball. So let's say at this point over here, I'll click somewhere else to deselect the object, grab the path tool, or left click, left click, left click, or reduce the size of the path here. So let's say 15. I'll left click over here, left click over here. Just a random pattern should do. Go back to the object tool. I'll move the pivot point around a center. I'll scale down a bit, reposition this inside of the ball. Then I'll try to put the pivot point around roughly the center of the ball here. Okay, and I'll change the color of the path that we just made. So click away. I think that works. Looks a little weird, but this should work just fine. All right. Next, I'll rename the object. I'll call this pattern, and holding down Shift, I'll grab the pattern and the ball, and I'll press Ctrl G to group them. I'll rename the group to ball comp. Now, inside of the ball comp, I'll change the blend mode of the pattern from source over to source atop. And now I'll rasterize the group into a layer by clicking on this checkboard. And now it should clip inside of the ball. Now, before we do anything, we have to parent the pattern to the ball. So I'll expand it here, expand the transform, scroll down to transform effects, and add parent effect. Let's expand it here. Change the target from none to ball. And now when we move around, the pattern should follow the ball. But now if we play back, you'll see that it still looks weird because the ball is not rolling, it's just sliding on the ground. Escape. To fix this, let's just make the pattern rotate. So inside of the pattern, I'll go to the transform, and we're looking for rotation. On frame 0, I'm going to keyframe the rotation. I'll move all the way to, let's find the last keyframe of the X. So over here, frame 60. And with the pattern selected, let's make sure the pivot point is somewhat centered. I'm going to change the rotation to 600. All right, I'll click elsewhere. Let's see. Now it looks like it's simply rolling on the ground. The last thing to do would be to go to the graph editor, grab the rotation, select the last keyframe over here, switch this to smooth node, left click, hold, press X, and then drag it out a bit. And now if we play back, there you have it. So this is how you can animate a bouncing ball using friction. Now I have a Ko-fi link down in the description for those of you who like to support the channel. You can click on this playlist here to learn more about Kdenlive or this playlist to learn more about friction. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.